everybody? It's your favorite fashion senses, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the SH Figuarts Rise of Skywalker Rey. I say fashion sense because, like, she definitely has a style. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't get too much out of her comfort zone. This is pretty much the same outfit from episode 7, and episode 8 really wasn't all that different, but it was at least more different than this. This is not my favorite design for her. Although I like the design, I just wish it was a bit more unique in comparison to her 7 outfit. That being said, though, it doesn't change the fact that we're going to talk about it, but in order to do so, we need to start with accessories. She comes with an array of hands, a wide array to be fair, left and right relaxed hands, left and right holding hands, left and right pointing hands, and then a second set of holding hands left and right as well. That's all in addition to the 2 fist hands that you saw in the opening footage. So then she comes with her staff. The staff doesn't detach, so this is what the second set of holding hands are for. It's sculpted nicely. All the bandages are sculpted and then painted down there. And then we have the softer strap. And then we have the buckle and the ties around the strap that are right here. And then we have the buckles there that are all painted. This is, like I said, a softer plastic, so it'll kind of, be a little malleable to get around or to kind of hold over her shoulder and what have you. But yeah, pretty well done. And just so you know, I'm not lying to you, there's the open holding hand holding the staff quite nicely. She comes with her blaster, really well sculpted, decently painted. However, you see the black out way outside of the lines there and the silver. Like, that's not what I expect from this company. I mean, it's all sorts of outside the lines. Real bummer. And then we have the handle that's painted better on this side. But yeah, she comes with that. She'll hold that just fine. And the pointing hand, I said pointing hand earlier, but it's really, I guess technically it is the gun holding hand, but it'll work for either. And it'll fit in her holster. She comes with 2 lightsabers, one with the kind of blade on it, so to speak. No white rod through the center, I might add. This does detach so that it can go in her hand. And then she has this one, which is to peg onto her belt. And the paint on this is pretty sharp. Now I'm like looking at it a little closer. Usually I can kind of fly through the paint stuff with Figuarts because you could just expect a certain level of quality. But yeah, a little red mark there. The silver's done well. The black is done well. So that's cool. I wish that this blade did detach from so she could hold an unignited, but now she has, I like when they have the unignited without the peg on it, So that would have been nice, but they are done well for what it's worth. By splitting the lightsaber, you can then insert it into the holding hand that's closed, and it does fit nicely. It is a little tight, so use caution. She'll kind of hold the unignited hilt with the open holding hand, but it's not the most secure. But as you can see, I dropped it and stuff, and it's still holding. It's not the most secure. Just be aware. And it'll peg into her belt just fine. She comes with this hood piece. This is a peg where it pegs into the front of her chest, and then the head goes in. It's going to be quite the ensemble. We'll see how well it fits, but everything is sculpted nicely and painted nicely. I like the little folds there in the back of the hood. And here it is with it on, and I tell you, I have to be doing something wrong, but I don't know what it is, because I have all the parts pegged in. It's just look how unsightly that neck piece, it doesn't look natural. Some would say is unnatural. It doesn't look right. It's it's not even, to be fair, it's not, I looked at them both, it's not even the same shape as that one. So that's kind of a huge fail for me, honestly. I'm not crazy about that one bit. And she comes with Dio. I do have the stand for this one. I threw the Black Series one out. I didn't see it in there and just chucked it. So I'll always have that missing. But yeah, we got a little ball peg up in here so you can move the head around. It's painted fairly well, but it's not sharp. Look at the green. It's not sharp. It's not clean. It's sloppy. Real bummer. It's well done there. It's well done there, but on the nose, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I feel like the black gets outside the lines as well. Kind of sloppy. And then on the back, we have the antenna. They're not in the ball pegs like the Hasbro one, so I kind of prefer the Hasbro one in that regard. We will see real quick if this will work for the Hasbro one. There they are, kind of side by side. I think the proportions and stuff are, sculpt-wise and all that are better on the Figuarts, but let's see here. Nah, not really. Not really, so that sucks for me. But, oh well. I'm sure I'll end up buying another one somehow, some way along the way, so... yeah, and this one does roll as well, so to speak, so that's cool. She also comes with this display base, like the same way Kylo does. It swivels at the bottom and then hinges, and then swivels, and then the clasps. And it has the nice kind of resistance symbol and then Star Wars on it. It's nice enough. I'm not sure if this was, like, because it came in a separate box. I'm not sure if this comes standard issue with this figure or because I bought all three, or I'm not sure why. But I have it. It came with mine. It came kind of cellophane wrapped to the proper box. And let's talk about the figure. So the head sculpt, for one, money, looks great. Paint looks great. And you see what I mean with the kind of the photoreal face paint here? Like, it's much sharper than the Kylo one that we looked at just the other day, I feel like. Am I nuts? I feel like that's much better. I think, like, that's arguably perfect. I'll show you a side-by-side. We'll do a side-by-side full body, but, like, you know, with the Hasbro. And the Hasbro's a great figure, don't get me wrong, but like, you see how fuzzy and blurry and how sharp that is, and I have them both in focus. Like, I can see the focus bar on both. But that's well done. So the head, I believe it is a double ball peg from the head into the neck, but you can barely, and we got to take it off anyway, right? Or do we unpop it? We probably unpop it at the neck. And then a single from the neck into the chest. Using both, you can get the head fairly down and up well, and then side to side is no issue, attitude is no issue, etc. We have ball hinges for the shoulders, which I think is actually a nice choice with the kind of smaller frame. That gets you out to 90 degrees, no issue. The ball hinge rather, does have a peg that inserts into the chest, which gets you a slight butterfly forward and back. We have a bicep swivel at the shoulder. They've been doing that a lot more recently. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it does work. And a ball hinge elbow that gets you a great range and is kind of sleek. So I dig that an awful lot. We have the brown stuff here that's sculpted on this arm strap, as well as the wristbands. The wristbands are a little dull. Like, the sculpt is a little dull. I'm not sure what's up with that. And then we have a ball hinge for the wrist. It'll swivel at both ends, so you get forward and back and up and down depending on where the swivel is. So I think this is done the same way as Kylo. This is all done the same, except for the straps. But the straps are kind of that dull strap, like, sculpt also, and then the band is sharper, much like here. It's not super well painted either. Like, look at that. Torso wise, I love all the sculpting here of, like, the bandages, like the whatever this is, like her cloth here. That's all well done. The belt is well sculpted, not super well painted. Once again, look at the sloppiness of the brown there. I mean, individual results is going to vary on this stuff, but what a bummer. All right, so it feels like a double ball peg from the chest into the pelvis, but not another one from the pelvis into the chest. So it just feels like you have the one double, and it's kind of limited because of all of this softer plastic here for the sake of aesthetics. So you do get a swivel. You get a little bit forward. Oh, actually, did we just pop that off? We might be able to take a look at it now. Let's unpeg this. Yeah. So one single, I was right. It makes me feel good when I'm right. One single double ball peg with a long stem. You would think it would work better than what it actually does, but it doesn't work all that great. Okay, so then we have the hips. Oh, this holster here pegs in to the side strap. So we have the hips. They're on drop down T-jointed ball joint, so you can get up and get the seam pretty clean there, and then you can pull down and sort of get more articulation, especially forward. So that's nice. You get the thigh swivel built around that. Out to the side, the softer plastic, I keep wanting to say soft goods, kind of gets in the way, but it's fair. And then we have the single ball hinge knee. Not the most well done thing, but not the worst either. It probably would have been better to have it, I don't know, because, like, it's where the pants end up. I'm not sure how they could have done that better, but this is not great. Not great at all. It just breaks that sculpt entirely. And then we have the lower leg, and then we have the boots that are sculpted beautifully and painted beautifully, so no issues there. Except they didn't paint the laces. I'm not sure if that is a kind of character design thing or if they were just being lazy. I'm not sure at this stage in the figure. We have double ball pegs going from the ankles into the foot, so you get a good ankle tilt up and back, and a nice rocker built in, and then a toe hinge. Toe hinge is a little far back in the foot, but that stuff doesn't really bother me as much. And then yeah, the rest of it is kind of fair, you know. So let's look at her side by side with the Hasbro. So there she is side by side with the Hasbro, and honestly, aesthetically, the difference is not crazy, you know? Like, that's how far Hasbro's come. It's a testament to what Hasbro's doing. Build-wise, plastic-wise, engineering-wise, all that stuff, the Figuarts definitely takes the cake, but just shelf presence, it's not that huge. I mean, the Figuarts does look better, but I'm not sure if it looks $40 better, you know? Probably twice as good, I would say, it would be fair. But then you add in the engineering and the materials and all that, and I do get it. Final thoughts wise, my negatives, I gotta first start with some of this sloppy paint. I'm not used to seeing sloppy paint with SH Figuarts, but this is probably some of the sloppiest paint I've seen on a figure ever from them. Kind of a bummer. Also, the limited articulation in the abdomen area due to that one double ball peg that has to run through that entire assortment of softer plastic. The knee engineering is not the prettiest. To be fair, I'm not sure what they could have done to make it any better, but you know what the nice thing is about my position? That's not my job. But I can say it's not the most elegant knee I've ever seen, especially from them. And I wish they had a lightsaber hilt with no peg on it, unless there is a way to remove this blade from the non-pegged hilt, but if there is, mine is really stuck on there. And I'll tell you, after dealing with the Hasbro one, it would have been nice for Dio to have the little ball pegs in the back of his antenna. It does allow him to express himself a bit more. Moving on to the positives though, it's some of the best face paint I've seen on SH Figuarts with the photoreal stuff. It looks really sharp, really clean, not pixelated, etc. Like, it looks really good. The materials feel great, per usual. And in most poses, it's some of the most seamless articulation engineering that I've seen in a while. I do want to point out there is a bicep swivel where the ball hinge plugs into the bicep as well, so you get plenty there. So it does have some stuff going for it. It's just, yeesh, it is just not the best that I have seen in terms of like the fine tuning stuff, which is the stuff I feel like they usually get right. So I'm not sure if I would really advise this one over the Hasbro one unless you're really looking for extreme articulation. Not that this gets you extreme articulation, but it's going to get you better looking articulation than the Hasbro one. So that's kind of where I feel with it. Like, if you're looking for a single Rey from this movie and you just want it standing there looking pretty, the Hasbro one will probably work fine. If you wanted to do much else, go ahead and jump for this one. That's kind of how I feel. Otherwise, I can't recommend this. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.